Hi, it's Chelsey from Shift OHS. I'm excited to share with you our latest video series, Perspectives of a Professional. In this series, we will be interviewing experts and professionals from a variety of industries who will share their perspectives on topics relating to worker fitness for duty and occupational health and safety. In the first installment, we'll be speaking with Scott Heil of To Be Sure Substance Abuse Professionals. Scott has been operating as a substance abuse professional for Shift OHS for the past 3 years. As a subcontracted SAP, or substance abuse professional, he provides quality substance abuse assessments for our employers so that they can support troubled workers or assess workers who've had a positive drug or alcohol test. Though Scott resides in Saskatchewan, he provides assessments virtually to workers across Canada. This first interview was conducted via Zoom, so there is a bit of lag from time to time in the video. So just be aware of that as you watch. Enjoy!
All right, so we're officially recording, but again, doesn't really matter because we can cut out anything we like.
Sounds good.
All right, so we're here today with Scott Heil of To Be Sure Substance Abuse Professionals, getting to know a little bit more about the substance abuse professional role and substance abuse assessments for Canadian workplaces. So welcome, Scott.
Well, yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me, Chelsey. How are you doing?
Doing really good today. And yourself?
Yeah, pretty decent. The sun's shining here, so thanks for asking me on, and hopefully we can have some fun.
Absolutely. So yeah, we've been working together for, 3 or 4 years now, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and we have had fantastic feedback about the services you provide, for our companies who maybe have troubled workers or who have workers who've had positive drug or alcohol tests. So we thought it'd be great to get to know you a bit better and get to learn a little bit more about your role and what you do.
Yeah, thanks. That's sounds like a plan. Let's get at her.
All right. So I guess, what our viewers might like to know is just a little bit more about you, in terms of your experience, your training, and of course, a bit more about you personally. So tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so personally, I guess, married, happily married most days. 2 kids. I got a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old, dog and a cat. What else could I tell personally? Been a lifelong Cincinnati Bengals fan, so
okay.
I do take a lot of flack from my friends for that. So
I bet.
Been a lot of losing years, but what I tend to tell my friends is, anybody can cheer for a winning team, but cheering for a losing team tends to build a lot of character. So that's what I tell them. That's what I'm going to run with. So
absolutely. Well, I don't want to make you feel bad, but I've actually never even heard of that team. So that tells you how popular they really are.
Yeah, so they could stand to win a little bit more in the future, so it wouldn't be bad. So professionally, so my education, so I would have a psychology degree.
Okay.
And then I have certifications. I'm a Canadian certified alcohol and drug counselor. I'm an internationally certified alcohol and drug counselor, and have some specialized certification through the U.S. Department of Transportation as a qualified substance abuse professional. So I've worn a few hats over the years, right? So in the public sector, I've worked, about 20 years experience in residential inpatient, outpatient, community and hospital settings. And in the private world, I've been providing safety sensitive services to employers across industry for about the last 7 years, I believe. So, I've been really lucky to have a really good mentor. Brenda Hearn, she's been doing private work for over 30 years. And I'm really grateful to have had her guidance and help over the years, kind of increasing my skills in these areas. So
nice.
Yeah.
You work with employers in a variety of sectors, right? Like oil and gas, construction, transportation.
Yeah. So, typically transportation, mining, construction, manufacturing, but yeah, really across industry, some of this kind of grows and people learn more about this stuff. Basically safety sensitive employers across all industry, really. So, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So, there are a lot of employers who are having employees who have positive drug or alcohol tests, or, workers who may come forward as having an issue or a potential issue with drugs or alcohol. Why should employers care about or require employees to complete substance abuse assessments?
Well, so a lot of reasons, but I think what COVID maybe has kind of taught us is that the world is rapidly evolving, and in the area of substance misuse and workplace safety, that is no difference. There's a lot of room for growth in these areas that employers may not know about. So it's just good to get the resources out there, and the options for employers that they may not know about. Another good reason, obviously, is that it is the employer's responsibility, as you know, to provide a safe workplace. Absolutely. And to ensure the safety of the workplace. How a good example of that is, I don't know if there's any landlords out there, but as a landlord myself, that landlord versus tenant relationship, we'd like to believe that when crap hits the fan, that tenants are going to be responsible and things like that and liable. But really what I've learned over the years is that it's always the landlord. And if you kind of use that as an example for safety sensitive employers, that's kind of the same way, right? When the crap hits the fan, it's the employer's responsibility to ensure these things, and generally they're the ones that are liable. So another good reason that employers may be concerned about their bottom line, right? And protecting money as well. And so I can't think of other ways to do that effectively other than, making sure that your workplace is safe and productive, because that's going to help your bottom line too. And the last reason I guess I can think of is that, employers may be looking for ways to get more information and options to help them manage these situations, and frameworks to guide employee help or discipline legally.
Absolutely.
So there's a few options, I guess, as to why they might be interesting to employers.
Definitely. Yeah. And for me, from the service provider perspective, I think utilizing a professional like yourself to complete these substance abuse assessments, ensures that the employer is getting information from a professional, right? Somebody who is trained in dealing with substance use and misuse, and who also understands the nature of a safety sensitive workplace, right? I mean, I have employers sometimes who reach out to me and say, well, we've had this worker who had a positive drug or alcohol test, and we would like to just put them on a return to duty agreement with some follow-up testing. And my recommendation always to them is that should be driven by a substance abuse professional, right? Somebody who can, provide a clinical impression or a diagnosis of that individual, and then base that information or that return to duty agreement on those recommendations. So definitely, I think it's important for employers to utilize the appropriate resource.
Yeah, that's very well said. Can't argue with that.
Awesome.